We are continuing with the momentum with Setup Wars every single Monday for the rest of December. Welcome to Setup Wars episode 353. If you guys are enjoying the new schedule, make sure to smack that like button, sit back and relax, and let's get started.
Setup Wars in a Christmas delight that's got the charm and the tech so right.
What if your car's dash cam becomes a vlogging camera as well? Well, that's what the new Vantrue E360 is. It isn't just a driving sidekick, but also doubles as a 360-degree vlogging camera. It features dual HDR sensors that shoot at a combined 5.2K resolution and up to 30 FPS while driving. I like that hard wiring isn't mandatory. Just secure the mount on the windshield, connect it to your console, snap the dash cam onto it, and you're ready to go. For parking mode, you have flexible options. You can choose to hardwire it or activate it through other options. It supports multiple recording modes, including a seamless panoramic view and a dual fisheye mode, basically recording everything around you. You can switch modes through the Vantrue app, which is also where you access all the recorded videos. Since the panoramic recordings can't fit the whole screen, you just have to drag to look around. But what's cool is that the camera knows when you start driving and it automatically begins recording as soon as you take off. As you can see, the image is crisp and clear during the day, and even at night it's pretty good. Here's a side-by-side with my Model X cameras. Even in low light, the E360 performs exceptionally well, and for extreme scenarios, it even has night vision. Now here's my favorite part. When you reach your destination, you can take it off the windshield mount, snap it onto the handheld mount, and use it as a 360-degree vlogging camera. You can switch between horizontal and vertical modes and can record up to 60 FPS this way. Quite handy if you guys want to shoot short-form content very conveniently. Dashcams are always a smart investment for safety on the road. They provide objective evidence in accidents, protect against theft, and much more. Even though I might not need one because of my Model X, I can see how it can be a game changer for most drivers out there. What sets it apart is its ability to double as a handheld camera, making it perfect for those who frequently go on road trips or outdoor adventures. I would say it's a pretty cool tool for capturing memories on both indoors and outdoors, but just make sure to check local regulations before you use one. But yeah, to check out the Vantrue E360, click my link down below. First up, we've got Hamza and his dual monitor setup. He's a student from the UK who built it within 3 months for the purpose of work, gaming, and studying. What catches my eye right away are those hexagon panels and the RGB line going around them. Now the pattern does seem to be off a bit, as he was trying to go with a more asymmetrical and abstract design, which in a way actually works. Hamza went with mostly black gear, which gives a nice contrast with the RGB lighting on the wall and behind the desk whenever it's dark in the room. He's rocking two 27-inch HP Omen monitors, which are sandwiched by his Sanyun speakers. I say this in almost every episode, but I recommend picking up a couple of stands to prop them up a little bit. The speakers would be aimed a bit higher towards your ears, and you'd mitigate most vibrations from the desk whenever you're listening to loud music. For peripherals, we got a HyperX Alloy Origins Core keyboard paired with a Logitech G502 Hero mouse. For times like these where you have wired peripherals and you don't want to drill a hole into your desk, one solution is to group the cables up together. That way you only have one visible cable going across the desk, but just make sure to leave enough slack for the mouse. This will clean up the overall look substantially. The cable management, on the other hand, looks great. We only have a photo from eye level, but it looks like Hamza took his time to properly route and manage all the cables in a tidy manner. Since he's using a standing desk, he also included a cable spine as well. Great job. Besides the keyboard and mouse cables we already mentioned, there are virtually none visible on the desk. They're all hidden behind the monitors, going towards his blacked out PS5 on the left and his PC on the right. It's powered by a Ryzen 5 5600G and an RTX 4070 Super. I do see that you're using custom sleeve cables for the 24-pin, but you could also get a black sleeved VH power cable extension to replace the default splitter. I really do think it would add to the overall look, despite the low visibility due to the darker colors of the components. Nonetheless, a very cool setup, Hamza. Thank you for participating. Setup number 2 belongs to Joel, a fellow boomer from Iowa who built his setup to game and watch TechSource videos. My man. Cheers. If you guys couldn't tell already, Joel here is a beer fan. a snob even. He brews his own beer at home and has 2 fridges full of them and a freaking kegerator. I had to look up this word. I didn't even know what a kegerator was. Pouring your own beer from the tap in the comfort of your home, right next to your setup? I mean, that sounds like a dream, right? Anyway, the kegerator aside, the setup itself is quite compact. The desk is neither too big nor too small, and even though the PC and monitors are occupying most of the space, Joel managed to include all of his necessary gear and even display some of his old parts, like the old radiator and his CPU and GPU on an Asus Sabertooth motherboard. Sweet lord, that is a fossil. We got 2 32-inch monitors in AT layout, an Asus gaming monitor as his main, and a 1080p Samsung display as his secondary. Right in front of them is this massive Bose soundbar, which is the main source of audio besides the Razer headphones that are hanging from the right leg of the desk. He's also rocking a pair of Cooler Master peripherals, which are resting on a Razer Goliathus extended mousepad. I really like how you cut those holes into the mousepad to route its cable through the coiled cable of the keyboard, then finally to run all the cables from the mousepad, and keyboard into a single tiny hole. And trust me, I know my way around those. In terms of cable management, it looks like Joel has it under control. I mean, it's a bit too dark to make it out exactly, but it looks like he used a lot of zip ties from what I can tell. And is that power strip just hanging with zip ties? Yep, indeed it is. I'm guessing that's from one of your monitors. It's only being held up by the 2 zip ties on the side, so it's not technically attached to the desk. That's actually hilarious. But hey, as they always say, if it works, it works. I'm not judging. Finally, the massive tower powering this whole setup is a build inside the Phanteks Enthoo, and it features a Ryzen 9 7900X paired with an RX 6950 XT. My guy, you have 8 intake fans and only 4 exhaust, which causes quite a bit of positive pressure inside your case. And that aside, I don't really understand the color choice of the fans, but you probably have a reason for that. If you ever plan on upgrading your water-cooled system, I think it'd be really cool if you could get some sort of beer keg or glass design for your reservoir. That would really fit with your personality here. You know, I'm not much of a beer drinker, but I wouldn't mind trying out one of your home brews, Joel. But nonetheless, it was a pleasure having you on the show. Thanks for sending these in. Coming out at number 3, we've got Max with the K, who's blessing us with not 1, but 2 full-on setups. He's a CNC machine operator from Germany, and he uses them mainly for gaming, video editing, and 3D design. You know, at first glance, you can't really tell which setup is used for what, but my very keen eyes tells me the green one is for gaming, and the white one is for productivity and editing. A shot in the dark. I mean, a Steam Deck low-key gives it away, but let's just go over the specs real quick, okay? The white theme setup features triple Xiaomi 4K 144Hz monitors, giving them tons of screen real estate, which would definitely help with productivity and creative tasks. Right in front of them, we've got some miscellaneous items like the Stream Deck that we already mentioned, and his keyboard and mouse combo from Razer and Glorious. For audio, Max mentions he's using the Logitech Z906 speakers in this setup, but I can't really find any speakers anywhere here. The closest thing that I can make out to be a part of the speakers are these underneath the TV to the left of the setup. As another source of audio though, he uses the Corsair Virtuoso wireless headphones. He's put quite the effort into cable management. The 2 backboards were used to attach the monitor mounts and also hide and route the cables behind them. TechSource approved, my friend. On to the water-cooled beast that's powering this setup. It's a full custom loop featuring an i9 10900KF and an RTX 3080 with 10 terabytes of storage. I'm pretty sure this confirms that this is the productivity setup, because who the hell needs 10 terabytes of storage for their gaming PC? The second setup has got only 2 monitors, both of which are 32-inch 144Hz from Samsung, and nothing else on the desk besides the mouse, keyboard, and the audio interface. Okay, now I see that you have an MX Master in this setup, so I am not sure anymore if I was right. That aside, we got some pretty nice audio devices, the Edifier MR4 speakers and the DT990 Pro limited edition headphones. Unfortunately, the left speaker is being covered by the left monitor. I do recommend raising the stands if you can a little bit and tilting the speaker towards you. Just like with the other setup, the cable management is very commendable. Not many wires visible from the front and none hanging underneath the desk. A very neat job overall. The PC of the second setup doesn't have a custom loop, however the specs are higher end. It's rocking the i9 14900K paired with an RTX 4090. We got DDR5 RAM and tons of storage again. I'll be completely honest, man, because of the mix of gear, I have no clue what setup is used for what. You probably use both for all purposes, for all I know. But either way, it was great having you on the show, Max. Thank you for submitting. Bringing us a more laid-back vibe is Ollie, an automotive photographer from the UK who built this cozy corner for gaming, editing, and to represent his passion. The foundation of the setup is by no means a small desk. However, space is quite limited because of the size of the case. Ollie made up for it by hanging a couple of shelves that hold his speakers and decor plants. These wrap around the monitors and add a touch of sophistication, for a lack of a better word. Really good space management and decoration choice, by the way. The monitors he went with are both MSI Optics displays. We have a 30-inch 200Hz as the primary and a 27-inch 165Hz as an overhead. He mounted both of them to the wall, which again saves space on the desk and alleviates a lot of weight that would have otherwise been put on the Lag Captain desktop. The peripherals of choice are a custom Tofu 60 keyboard paired with a G Pro Superlight resting on an Irezumi R2 desk mat. That thing is gorgeous, damn. We actually have our own Dragon mousepad in our store. Actually, we have two Dragon pads. One's called Dragon, the other one's called Viserion, but I really like the one you have here in the setup. Maybe I'll ask Zert to make a third Dragon design for our Season 13 collection. Some food for thought. For audio, I've already mentioned the Edifier speakers, but Ollie also has a pair of Logitech Pro X wireless headphones and a Rode Pod mic, which is hooked up to the UM-C22 audio interface. I'd give the cable management a solid 5 out of 10. No cables are touching the ground and the rack is doing most of the heavy lifting, but I mean, you still could have used a couple of Velcro straps, zip ties, or even magnetic ties to at least make the cables hang neatly and not in such a chaotic manner. What is not chaotic, however, is this beautiful white PC that's packed with the Ryzen 9 5900X and a Gigabyte RTX 2070 Super. Ollie not only did a great job with the shelving and decor at the main setup, but he also gave the rest of his room the same treatment, showcasing his figurines, collectibles, shoe collection, and that cute little aquarium. Awesome job, Ollie. Thank you for coming on the show. Wrapping up the episode is Walter White himself with his fully white corners setup. He's a student from Cali, and at only 16 years old, he has a setup with a consistent color scheme that most people would be jealous of. Not just the setup though, his whole room stays true to the theme and with mainly white colors, black accents, and some RGB lighting. All the lights and even the PC can be turned on and controlled by voice commands too. I mean, that is freaking cool.
Computer, power up.
All right, hold your horses with the daddy's money comments though, because Rome wasn't built in a day, okay? It took him many years to gather all the parts and eventually remodel his whole room, to then slowly upgrade it over the span of a year. Patience is what led him here. However, I have to know how comfortable it is to use that Alex drawer that's hidden in the corner. That placement was probably necessary to make the corner setup work, but do you actually use those drawers? I'd personally get tired of constantly having to reach down to get anything. I'm also not a fan of the crotch pole that you have underneath the main desk. It would annoy me so much when my legs are constantly kicking it as I'm moving them around. I would have personally gone with 1 or 2 Olaf legs and placed them to the left side where you have the Alex units instead. In any case, Walter is rocking 2 monitors in a T layout. We got a 34-inch curved Asus TUF as the main and a 24-inch Scepter as the secondary. The peripherals perfectly match each other with the color scheme and RGB. He went with a GMM-K2 and a glorious Model O, which are resting on our cyber white TechSource mousepad. You have amazing taste, by the way. He doesn't have any speakers, but instead uses 2 pairs of headphones. You got the Razer Nari Ultimate for gaming and the Bose QC35s for chillin' to some tunes. The cable management is super califragilistic. Almost everything is attached to the desk, no hanging cables anywhere to be seen, and the PC they're all connected to is built inside the beautiful Height Y60, featuring a Ryzen 9 5900X and an RTX 3080 Ti Founders Edition. I have to say, amazing job in being so consistent with the color scheme, Walter, and at such a young age as well. But, you know, regardless of the age though, there's always inspiration to be found in everybody's setup, and it's one of the reasons why I will still continue to do this show. So, thank you, Walt, for participating. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. As always, I'll be back next Monday for another fresh episode, so make sure you subscribe with notifications enabled. Let me know in the comment section which of these setups floated your boats the most. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next one.
Stop it. Get some help.
Oh yeah, that's good.